So today, rapid response video, and then coming up on the 14th, as I said, patient lead generation. So let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. And all digital marketing begins with video, and the Von Trapp family special. If you ever get the opportunity to go to the Sound of Music sing-along at the Hollywood Bowl, please do it. It's a totally bizarro day. Video can be used a bunch of different ways. It can be used naturally for video, and then you can repurpose it all these other ways. Audio for podcasts, search engine optimization, you can transcribe it. You can do it in traditional emails, newsletters, or a traditional mailer. You could even create out of it social media and blog entries. So all digital media begins with video, and there's several reasons why. So let's talk about those. 83% of US internet audience is watching video online. Video viewing's up 648% in 1 year. 30% of all internet traffic is video, and in 2013 it's supposed to be 90%. So there's a huge traffic influx revolving around video. And why are, if anybody wants to answer this question, feel free, why are 73% of online retailers using video on their product pages? Anybody want to guess? This is that interactive part that you were like, we're not going to have to do that interactive part. The reason is because websites that have video, their sales are increased dramatically. And the same is true with websites, with medical sites that have video introducing their doctor. So we'll discuss that today. I'm also going to show you how to create it. Customers who watch product videos are 85% more likely to buy products. And my favorite stat is that when you add video to a page and you properly search engine optimize it, a video page is 53 times more likely to appear on the first page of Google search results, which is astonishing but effective, and there's a reason why. And let's take a little pop quiz. Why do you think video is given preferential treatment from Google? Does anybody want to speculate on that? Because of YouTube, exactly. So Google has a vested interest in the searchability success of video. So it's in our best interest, if we're trying to find patients that are looking for health information on the internet, it's in our best interest if we start off with video, just like the Von Trapp family says. Start at the very beginning.